there is more pushback to President Trump's anti-immigration tactics. A new lawsuit has been filed by the state of Minnesota and the Twin Cities. Officials there allege that ICE agents have invaded the area, wreaking havoc and violating residents' constitutional rights. CBS's Lena Zach is in Minneapolis with the latest.
This is, in essence, a federal invasion of the Twin Cities and Minnesota, and it must stop.
Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison sued the Trump administration, claiming that its deployment of federal agents and officers illegally oversteps the state's law enforcement authority, quote, endangering the public safety, health, and welfare of all Minnesotans, and provoking protest in the process.
You've seen the videos. At times, there are as many as 50 agents arresting one person. The scale is wildly disproportionate and has nothing to do with keeping people safe.
With clashes continuing between federal law enforcement and demonstrators Monday, the lawsuit pointed to several alleged uses of excessive force.
That's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you.
Including by the ICE agent who shot and killed Renee Good last week.
This deranged lunatic woman was trying to ram him over.
Trump administration officials claim it was a justified act of self-defense.
And we're feeling the impact here in Minneapolis. Schools have closed. People are afraid to go to work, shop, or seek medical care. 911 calls are up.
The lawsuit said there had been over 80 911 calls related to immigration enforcement since December 9th, estimating that skyrocketing police overtime costs could reach more than $2 million in just a 4-day span, with local officers reporting heightened hypervigilance and fear. And in a statement, the Department of Homeland Security said the Minnesota lawsuit was prioritizing politics over public safety, adding, quote, we have the Constitution on our side on this, and we look forward to proving that in court.
And to give you a sense and scale of the federal presence here, the Twin Cities Police Department has about a little bit more than 1,000 sworn officers. By contrast, federal agents and officers number more than 2,000, and there are more on the way. Lana Zach, CBS News, Minneapolis.
Well, in Arkansas, protesters took to the streets in Little Rock on Monday after Minnesota's lawsuit announcement. A small group were protesting what they call an expanded federal immigration presence. Organizers say the recent surge of agents and street-level enforcement has raised concerns about training, safety, and accountability.
Because of what they're doing to our cities, they are not police officers. They are doing things that they have no right to do if you look at who they are. They are not getting the training like police officers should. They've backed it up to 6 weeks training for these people, which is why the Renee Good is dead.
Data from UCLA and UC Berkeley show thousands of ICE arrests in Arkansas since last year. Protesters say that they plan to continue rallying and push lawmakers for change. Well, Senator John Boozman spoke about the Minnesota shooting in a statement. He said this tragic incident, which is now under investigation, is a reminder for Americans to treat one another with respect and responsibility. Meanwhile, Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton, who chairs the Senate Intelligence Committee, voiced strong support for ICE and law enforcement, saying their work targeting criminal illegal immigrants helps reduce crime and drugs and makes Arkansas communities safer. Well, drivers in Fort Smith should plan for delays starting tomorrow. MacArthur Drive on North O Street on Albert Pike Avenue is now closed weekdays from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. The closure runs through January 14th for sewer improvements. You can find updates on our website at 5newsonline.com. Well, today, the Fayetteville City Council will weigh in on a new budget proposal from the city's police and fire departments. The departments are asking for more than $1 million for upgrades to radio equipment. The proposal says that the city is looking to purchase these next-generation radios from Motorola. They'll replace equipment with city leaders and say that it is over 10 years old now and outdated.
It's vitally important that the radio that they're using is able to convey information back. It's so important when you get into the reaches of some of these rural areas and you may be looking for a lost child, that your communication device is able to stay with you and to not fail you.
The price has raised concerns among residents and city leaders. Police say most agencies in Arkansas use Motorola, so the company sets the cost. The meeting is set for today at 4:30. Well, in Fort Smith, the Board of Directors is expected to discuss some big topics at a study session today. The City Parks and Recreation Department will give an update on the master plan for the Acme Brick property. That's, of course, the 100 acres that the city bought and is looking to develop for stormwater management and flood mitigation. Other items on the agenda include the funding request for renovations on the Miss Laura's Brothel Museum and a preview of the proposed lease agreement between Sebastian County and Parrot Island. Well, new at noon, the city of Decatur is saying goodbye to longtime mayor Bob Tharp, who officially retires today. His nearly 3 decades of public service include 11 years as the city's mayor, leading the city through many significant challenges. That includes the 2024 Memorial Day weekend tornado outbreak. Mayor Thorpe's retirement comes as he and his wife move to Siloam Springs. Well, in central Arkansas County, with advocates saying it promises billions in investment and hundreds of jobs. But critics are worried about energy drains and environmental costs. The $6 billion center will be built by a company that specializes in developing the massive computer hubs. Avio Digital plans to build on 760 acres near Wrightsville. Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders says it's the largest economic investment in the state's history. But critics say these massive centers bring more problems beyond the promised investments.
What we've seen nationally, data centers usually use up a really big percentage of the community's electricity. And not only that, the amount of water consumption and waste of the water really hurts communities.
The developer says that they have a deal in place with Entergy to power the site without stressing the grid, with 150 megawatts to start. Construction is expected to begin later this year, with completion set for 2027.